Look, I know we lost 1-0 tonight. And I'm going to address that. And I might wake my neighbors up if I do this, but folks, oh my goodness. 6 long years. 6 long years. And the Diamondbacks are back in the postseason. I'm doing a double length for this one. I can't believe it happened. The only thing, my goal this year was for this team just to make the postseason. And it may have been a fool's gold, a fan bias, but I saw this team and I saw progress last year. And I said, gosh darn it, they can do it. If a couple chips fall their way, they can do it. Well, the Mets were a disaster. The Padres were a big disappointment. And you're in. Somehow, some way. And yet, I'm so happy I was wrong about this season being dead. I am so grateful. They proved me wrong. Never been more happy to be wrong. And yet, there's just that bittersweet feeling I have. I'm so bittersweet about it, even though this should be a joyous occasion. And I am happy, and I know when time goes by, I'm going to savor it more down the road. I just hate that they got shut out today. And the fact that they're like celebrating in the pool and doing champagne bottles like after you got shut out. After you have scored 2 runs, 2, in 33 innings. Like, come on, dude. That's one thing that's just discouraging. The offense, I'm not even asking for a win tomorrow. I'm not even asking for that. I just want them to have an average day on the offense. 4 to 6 runs, that's all you need. They got Christian Javier on the mound, which is like, okay, he's good. I like him. But when you get 2 hitted by Jose Urquidy, it's like, dude, I just want them to look like an offense. Pitching-wise, elite. I'm so encouraged what I've seen from Gowan and Kelly in the bullpen. That's been very encouraging. Against this Astros team that wanted to win. That's been there before. So, it's 2 sides of the coin. But I always got to shout out the Cardinals. And by the way, why am I wearing a Grizzlies shirt today to work? The Memphis Redbirds. I did not own a Cardinals jersey, but Memphis Redbirds are their minor league affiliate. And I thought, screw it. I know how this game's going to go tonight. And it went exactly how I thought it would. You lose 1-0 in front of a rapturous crowd at Chase Field. So I have to go for the Cardinals, which both teams, Reds and Cardinals, had a bullpen day. And they went up 11-0. Goldie locks in the game, put an 11th spot in the first 3 innings against the Reds. And I was petrified. I was actually terrified when they took out Goldie and all of them. When it was 11-1. Sure, they won the game 15-6, but folks, it was a 5-run game in the 7th inning, and 2 guys were on base for the Reds with 1 out. That should not be forgotten. They were so close to blowing it. But regardless, Cardinals won. They helped you. And, I know it's going to hit me later. And I'm bittersweet, like I mentioned. But I can say now, I'm just so proud of them. I'm proud of this team. I really am. With the way I mentioned that if they can survive the first half of the season with how brutal their schedule was, and they did, that they can take off. And they did survive. And then they went through that stench of a losing streak. I don't know. I'm going to triple this one. I'm going to make this a 7-minute recap. That losing streak really killed me. That really made me discouraged. But then I realized, my third eye opened up. And it was Gabby Marino. Him coming back to this team truthfully helped. It helped in so many ways. And just a complete 180. And I know he grounds into so many double plays when there's a guy on first and nobody out. It's That's why I wasn't mad at all when Jake stole second and he got thrown out. I was like, because you knew Gabby was going to ground to a double play. Like, it happens. And I love Gabby for what he has done. He's the only one who's gotten an RBI on his team in the past 2 days. But my Wudo and Christ, he is such an important player for this team. Corbin is like the guy, but Gabby, because you had no backups. You had Carson Kelly and Jose Herrera. And that's someone that they need to address in the offseason. But all I got to say, I'll probably go into more tomorrow. You're just in such a good spot. And it's never guaranteed next year. Who knows who's going to be good and bad? I just remember 2 years ago, this was the worst team in baseball, second worst team in baseball. You know who was worse than the Diamondbacks in 2021? Baltimore. Next year, Baltimore almost made the playoffs. You made progress. You won 74 wins, which I predicted. I said 72 to 76, man in the middle. This year, Baltimore is one of the best teams in baseball, and you made the wild card. Who knows 2 years from now, these two teams could be making in the World Series. But 2 years ago, I remembered how the season ended. Josh Van Meter hit a walk-off to right field. And instead of getting the first pick, we got the second pick. I didn't hate it because I would have drafted Drew Jones number 1, and he went to us number 2. Last year, in Milwaukee, Josh Rojas hit a go-ahead homer in the ninth inning, top of the ninth, and the Diamondbacks won. And that would be Josh Rojas' last homer of his career, of his Diamondbacks career. Tomorrow, a walk-off will be very pleasant. I would hope for that. But for me, I just want runs.